Hey everyone, Richard Metal Fan here, bringing you guys an old school album review. And today we're going to be looking into one of my favorite debut albums from one of my favorite bands of all time. And as you can see below the title, and this album is 30 years old today, we're going to be looking into The Legacy by Testament. And for the occasion, I'm also wearing my Testament Legacy shirt from when I saw them for the first time a couple years ago. And yes, now everybody should at least know of Testament. One of the, in my opinion, the best thrash metal bands to come out in the '80s. These along with like other bands such as like Exodus and Overkill. And this is like, of course, their debut album released on April 21st, 1987 through Atlantic Records. And this album sounds very good for being, especially for being like their debut. And when they first formed, they weren't even called Testament. They were actually named The Legacy. See, but they had like a couple different lineup changes. For a little while they had Steve Zusa from Exodus doing vocals, but then they got Chuck Billy in there, and I think he fits really good. But of course, then they changed their name to Testament. And what can I say? I think this is a solid debut. I think the production on there, it's pretty solid. But I mean, there's like a few like little nitpicks I have with it, but the song structures on the songs are really good. I mean, vocally, I think Chuck Billy's vocals sound pretty good, but I just think they get better from here on out. The guitar work on this album is good. I mean, from Alex Skolnick's soloing and like Eric Peterson's riffing is good, but I feel like the tone on the album is kind of a little bit muddied a bits, but they still have some really good kick-ass solos in there. I think the lead tone is pretty good. The bass playing from Greg Christian, I feel like I just wish the bass was a little bit more heard on this album. You could barely hear it at all. And Louis Clemente's drumming on this is pretty good, but doesn't beat like other drummers such as like Gene Hoglan. But without further ado, let's dive into this album track by track. Now the album opens up with Over the Wall. This may be one of the album's standout tracks. It contains some intense and ferocious riffing and has a really great chorus that makes you want to bang your head to it. It's a fast and heavy song. It has a very good solo section. But I feel like some people would say that the solo is a bit long to me, but it's a great song to kick off this album. The Haunting, which the song, ironically enough, kind of has a little bit of a spooky horror sound to it, and afterwards the guitar enters with some really just cool riffing. I think the verse is not the greatest, but the chorus pretty much saves the song. And the bridge is heavy, somewhat melodic, and the solo sounds perfect, and so is the rest of the song. Burnt Offerings starts off with an acoustic guitar intro and a calm short solo in there, and later the main riff is kicked off. It's not as catchy and it sounds a bit strange, but I mean, like the previous song, the song has a fine solo on there, but it's a good song. I don't know what the fuck I was saying there. Raging Waters. The intro riff sounds a bit heroic, and Chuck's vocals kind of sound a little bit weird on the song. The song itself has a very fast tempo to it, and it has a really good example of Skolnick's awesome guitar skills in there. But I feel like the song is like a bit boring a little at some parts, and it doesn't make it to the top in my opinion. I know a lot of Testament fans are gonna hate me for that, but hey, it's just my opinion. Then we go into Kotlot, which opens up with some intensive riffing, which remains throughout the whole song. And Kotlot, of course, is an acronym meaning Cursed Legions of the Death. Very cool headline for the song. But I think it's one of the catchiest songs on here. First Strike is Deadly. The intro to this has two voices speaking, like one with a dark voice and one with a squeaky one. When I first heard it, sort of gives me goosebumps. It still gives a chill down my spine whenever I hear this song. And the song sounds very death metal like, but the riffs in the song sound really great. Chuck sings very good in the song, and the solo is awesome. The solo sounds very heroic, and Eric seems to play along with Alex. This is definitely the album's second standout track on there. Do or Die has a very interesting song. Has sort of half melodic riffing in the start and some very fast drumming. The chorus is catchy, and so is the rest of the song. The song itself is kind of melodic in the structure, and one of the album's best songs on here. Alone in the Dark. The album's most melodic songs. It starts with a very cool intro guitar solo and later comes in the main riff. It's not as fast as like the previous songs on here, and it's heavy. Both verse and chorus is great, and the solo is one of the best. Yes, the song is definitely worth your time. And then the album closes with Apocalyptic City. It starts up with a very, very sad acoustic intro followed by some bass. So that was the first time you actually hear bass a little bit on this album. And some really great solo and guitar work in there. But the song doesn't sound as apocalyptic as it says in the title. But it sounds like most of the other songs. It's not like the standout track, but it's still a good song nonetheless. Now overall, The Legacy by Testament is a solid debut, but I just think they get better from here on out. If I were to give this album a score, I'd probably give this a solid 8 out of 10. They just would get a little bit better from there on out. So yeah, that's my review of The Legacy, guys. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you all in the next review, and keep it metal.